Now, a projectile is fired from a point on a horizontal plane with a velocity of 56I plus 56J meters per second. Find the greatest height above the plane, well, its range, and its velocity as a vector after 4 seconds. Out of interest, is that 3A question 2? Check for me, I think it seems a bit advanced. So, now, what does all this mean? First of all, from a generic point of view, anytime I throw an object, for example, kick a football, in war you fire a cannonball, whatever. If you fire it up into the air, what happens, generally speaking? What do you say? Yeah, it travels across, it reaches a maximum height, and then it falls back down to Earth. Everybody cool with that? Okay. At any given point on its journey, its velocity can be broken up into two parts. Vx, which is parallel to the x-axis, and Vy, which is parallel to which is perpendicular. So, for example, at a given point in the ball's velocity, for argument's sake, I'll say Vx equals 5 and Vy equals 3. What does that mean? It's going 5 across and 3 up. Is that okay? You would then do Pythagoras' theorem, and you would say that it's root 34. Its actual speed is root 34, but its velocity is 5I plus 3J. Does everybody get what that means? 5 across, 3 up. But its speed, or its velocity, its magnitude, is root 34. Is that right? Now, the next thing you got to understand is, see that 5? It never decelerates. Can anybody tell me why? Why would it never decelerate? It's at a right angle to gravity. Gravity does not affect it. Now, we're assuming no wind resistance. You got it? All these questions are performed in a vacuum. Usually in real life, a bullet will get slowed down by wind resistance. That's why bullets are really pointed and long in shape. Okay? So, with this in mind, the x value or the Vx value always stays the same. What's the only thing that will change? The Vy value. Do you get that? Now, at its greatest heights, what do you think happens to the Vy value? At its greatest height. Is it going up or down at its greatest heights? No, it stops temporarily. It just stops just for a second. So what does that mean about the Vy value? The Vy value is 0. You got it? And the Vx value will still be the number 5. Is that okay? On its way down, symmetrically out the other side, guess what will happen? It'll still be going Vx equals 5 to the right, but it'll be going Vy equals minus 3 on the way down. Does that make sense? And you'll be going square root of 34 diagonally right down this time. Alright, I'm going to pause it there. The example I just gave you has nothing to do with question 2 at the moment. I'm just spouting out real numbers just to show you how it works. Cool. Now, I have another question for you. Can anybody tell me where does S? There's two distances as well. So, as an example, if I said not two distances, what's the word I'm looking for? Two displacements. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So, as an example, Sx and Sy. We've already discussed Vx and Vy, haven't we? Vx is going left to right, Vy is going up and down. Alright, if I said for argument's sake that this is the red point's the starting point, blue point is simply a point on the graph where you're still on your way upwards, yeah? And I said that the blue point is 50 meters across and 40 meters up. Okay? What can you tell me there? What's the SX value? SX value is 50, because you're going left to right. It's in the same, oh sorry. Oh, why did I put the arrows like that? Sorry, Killian, let's see what I did there. The arrows are going left to right for SX, and then for SY, 40. And if somebody was to ask you the displacement, you could say it's 50I, which means 50 across, and 40J, which means 40 upwards. Okay? Remember, it's not the same as distance, you got it? Will SY hit 40 again? Will SY hit 40 again? Where? Out the other side. And it will hit 40 again. Because remember, it's displacement from the ground, it's not distance travelled. You will be 40 meters above the ground again. Okay? Will SX be 50 again? No, why not? Because SX is going in one direction only. SX will continue to get bigger over and over again, won't it? So SX will just keep getting bigger. Now, there's some keywords we got to go through now. Okay? And the keywords are like so. Alright, first of all, can anybody tell me the 2 points at which SY is 0? Where is SY 0? Anybody tell me? At the beginning of the question? SY is always 0 at t equals 0. Unless you start off at a height. So for example, a tennis player using a racket to hit a tennis ball, a really badly drawn tennis player, its SY could start off at 3 meters in the air. So at t equals 0, SY would be 3. Where the ball hits the ground will be SY equals 0. Everybody get that? You're not guaranteed it. Okay? But in these questions you are. So there's 2 points at which SY equals 0. The 2 point here, that's SY equals 0. And what's the next one? Where the ball actually lands. Now, this is known as your range. You got it? Range is how far you travel along the SX direction. Ever got that? Where you hit the ground, the time taken is known as the top or time of flight. Time of flight is the time when you hit the ground. Everybody cool with that? And then R is known as the range. That's the range is the total distance along the x-axis where the ball drops. Now, there's another key point you'll need to know. Can I tell you what this purple line stands for? It's in the question, actually, oddly enough. Greatest height. Because it's symmetrical, what's the time taken to reach the greatest height? Half the time of flight. So, for example, if the time of flight was 20 seconds, from start to finish, you drop, and it takes 20 seconds to hit the ground again. After how many seconds would you be at your greatest height? 10. It's 10 on the way up, 10 on the way down, provided you start and end at the same height, and provided it's horizontal ground. Are we cool with that? Now, let's begin. We said we have 4 parts, don't we? Px, Vy, Sx, and Sy. Your 4 mills of doom, so to speak. Okay? We just finished linear velocity. Can anybody tell me with linear velocity what were the 2 equations for V and S? So U plus AT, yeah, no bother, and the other one? Yeah, UT and a half AT squared, okay, no bother. Now, you start off with initial velocity of 56. So we're going to UVAS both of them. UVAS for X and UVAS for Y. What's the U value for X, which will be in black? The U value? 56. Oddly enough, the U value for Y is also 56. What's the A value for X? Not what? 0. The A value for the other one? Gravity? Minus 9.8. Run out of space here. Minus 9.8. The T values are the same because you start off at the same time, correct? Okay, let's do U plus AT for X. So what do we get? 56 plus 0 times T. So was it really necessary to put in the 0 T? Not really. Just 56. The other one is going to be 56 minus GT, which is 56 minus, anybody? 9.8 T. Technically, it's a plus minus G times T, which will be minus GT. Good so far? Now, we're going to do UT plus a half AT squared now for SX and SY. So what's SX? Anybody? UT. So, 56 meters per second going to the right multiplied by the time taken. What's the A value? For the X direction? So there's going to be nothing behind that, is there? No. And the other one? 56T. Then what else? Plus a half AT squared, so it's going to be plus a half minus G. What? Yeah, and what you get then? 56T, what's half of gravity? 4.9 T squared. Everybody cool with that? Now you're at this stage here. Now, everybody cool with this? Alright. What does it want from us? The greatest height above the plane. What's guaranteed about the greatest height above the plane? What did I say earlier? It's no longer going upwards. So what does that mean? Sorry? Which one's 0? Vy. Perfect. Vy equals 0. Well, why don't we just put Vy equals 0 then, won't we? So what do we get then? 56 equals 9.8 T. 56 divided by 9.8 is 40 divided by 7. Leave it as a fraction. T equals 40 divided by 7. Are we okay with that? So, at our maximum height, the T value is 40 divided by 7. That pink distance, is it an SY or an SX? Make sure the master coming to nose, lads. Right? Now, anybody else? Is it an SY or an SX, the pink line? An SY. So what do you think I'm going to do with the SY equation? I'm going to substitute in what? I'm going to substitute in 40 over 7. Reason being is I want to find the height at 40 over 7 seconds into its motion. Okay? Lob all that into the calculator. Oh. And what's it? Minus a half. So minus 4.9 T squared. Okay. And there we go. 160 meters. Everybody good with that? So you're 160 meters in the air. Everybody cool? Awesome. So its greatest height is 160 meters. Now, I'm going to teach you the proper way to do this, but there is a cheat. What would be the chi for the time of flight? Can anybody tell me? What can you tell me about the time of flight? Double the time to the greatest height. So what's double 40 over 7? Time of flight would be 80 over 7. I'm going to show you a different way how to do it anyway, because you definitely need to know both ways of doing it. So, what's guaranteed about the green dot? No, Py is not 0 because it hits the ground going downwards. Something is 0 though. What is 0 at the green point? Sy is 0. Why is Sy 0? Because you're back on level ground. So if I go back here to start, I go back to my Sy equation. And what do I do with my Sy equation? Just put it equal to 0. Solve this. Now what's 56 divided by 4.9 out of interest? Where does it go in? 80 over 70. Exactly the answer we were looking for. What did I say? What did I say was guaranteed? At t equals 0, your Sy is usually 0 because you're starting off on level ground. This proves it. I get 4.9 t equals 0, t equals 0. Everybody cool with that? Then what am I going to get t equals? 80 over 7 because t equals 0. This means t equals 80 over 7. Cool with that? So that's the time of flight proved. Would you agree with that? Time of flight has been proven. Okay? What do we need to do to find the yellow line? What direction is the yellow line going in? X. So we use Sx or Sy then. We use Sx, and what does Sx mean? 56 multiplied by the time you're given. So 56 times 80 over 7. I think it's 640, but no, 640, yeah. So they would agree that the yellow line is 640 meters long. Okay? Now, its velocity as a vector after 4 seconds. After 4 seconds, okay? Can anybody tell me what? Don't we reach the maximum point at 40 over 7, don't we? What is 40 divided by 7? 5.7 seconds. After 4 seconds, are we on our way up or our way down? Way up. Anything after 5.71 seconds, you're on your way down. So therefore, we know we're on our way up, don't we? So we're expecting a positive Vx and a positive Vy. In fact, does Vx ever change? No. But let's find out what happens to Vy. So I can get rid of all this. I don't need any of this anymore. And I look at the Vy equation. And what am I going to plug into the Vy equation? 56 minus 9.8 times 4. And you get 16.8. So what can I say my velocity is as a vector? It's 56i, which means you're going 56 across. And how fast am I going into the air? 16.8j. Put it in brackets because I also have to specify that it's meters per seconds. Everybody cool with that? Alrighty. Now, you're on your own. Alright. So, 4 moves of doom, Vx, Vy, Sx, Sy. We know straight away that we know it's a standard arc, isn't it? You start down here and you go up and then you come back down again and life is great. Right? The 2 blue points are both Sy is equal 0. Is everybody cool with that? The part at the top would be what? If we were asked it, it would be Vy equals 0. Cool with that? But that's not what we're asked this time. So, Py is Px is 14. Everybody cool with that? Py, anybody? 14. U plus AT, so it's going to be minus 9.8. T. Minus gravity times time, which is decelerating. Sx will be 14 multiplied by T, because it's ut plus a half at squared. Sy is also, whoa, sorry, I made a mistake there. It's 21, isn't it? Sorry, my fault. Next one, 21t minus plus a half minus gravity times time squared, but we know a half minus 9.8 is minus 4.9, okay? Did everybody get that far? Okay. Now, it wants the height above the plane at t equals 1. What equation are you going to use there? T equals 1. Give me the height of the pink bar. It's an SY question, isn't it? How far are you above the x-axis? So, it's 21 times 1 minus 4.9 times 1 squared. Anybody get the answer? 16.1 meters. Good. Now, for argument's sake, hey, that was the... Right. For argument's sake, that was your 16.1, okay? See the black line? That's 16.1. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a horizontal line where I think it's 22.4. Ever see 22.4 here? It takes place at 2 times, doesn't it? Red dot 1 and red dot 2, yeah? 2 times. 2 different answers indicates what type of equation? Indicates a quadratic. Which is the only quadratic equation you have? Sy to be specific. And what does the Sy equal? Above the ground, doesn't it? Out of interest, can 22.4 be divided by 4.9? Not worth it. Alright, we'll just do the minus b formula in a second. So we get minus 4.9 t squared plus 21t. What's it, minus 22.4? You can multiply both sides by negative if you want. Alright guys, do the minus b formula there and get your answer for both times. So, minus b formula will be plus 21 plus square root minus 21 squared minus 4 times a minus c all over 2a. First answer I got is 16 over 7. I'll leave it as a fraction. Fractions are better. T equals 16 over 7. The next answer I got was 2. We all go with those answers? Anybody beat me to it? Alright, I'm going to share this. Okay. Okay. Particle is projected from a point on a horizontal plane with initial speed 10 and 35. Find the times at which it reaches the maximum height above the plane. Alright. We all know the routine for maximum height, don't we? What's the routine? Py equals 0 is the routine. Let's do our Vx. Vx is 10. Sx is 10t. Vy is 35 minus gt, or 35 minus 9.8t. Sy Here's the cheap way. Sorry, here's the cheap way of doing this. Add a t onto the 35. Half the second one and add another t. So you get minus 4.9 t squared. That's the fast way of doing it. Okay. Now, we're going to put Vy equals to 0. So we've got this equation here. Put it equal to 0. Alright. So 35 minus 9.8t equals 0. 9.8t equals 35. 25 over 7. Alright. Its velocity is 10I plus 10.5j. Well, it's always 10, isn't it? So the only piece of information there is the Vy equation. So what we can say next is that the Vy equation for part 2 is essentially saying Vy equals 10.5. So what can we say then? We can say 35 minus 9.8t equals 10.5. You close that, please. Thanks. 9.8t. What's 35 take away 10.5? 24.5. 9.8. Sorry. Alright, you're not moving on me. 24.5 divided by 9.8. Five over 2. T equals 5 over 2. That's for question 2. Now for question 3, we'll do here. For question 3, we'll do minus 10.5, which means it's 9.8t plus equals 45.5. 45.5 divided by 9.8. And we get 65 over 14, otherwise known as 4.64 seconds. 65 over 14. Alright. Show that the time in T1 in answer 1 is halfway between the two of these. From a pictorial point of view, guys, you're on your way up with velocity 10.5 on the way up. You're on your way down with 10.5. It's symmetrical that the middle of these two times would be directly underneath your peak. We know what's the answer for part 1 again? 5 over 25 over 7. What we're gambling is that the average of 5 over 2 and 65 over 14 will in fact also be 25 over 7. Let's find out. 5 over 2 plus 65 over 14 divided by 2, 25 over 7. Is that okay? Same thing. Now, meh. Oh, 11 maybe. Oh, tough one. 12. Here we go. So, projectile. Some part on its journey. Its speed will be 10 on the way up and 10 on the way down. these will occur at the same height above ground. Okay, that doesn't matter. Now, let's do Pythagoras' theorem. You know that what's it called? You know that the x value never changes. So when you do Pythagoras' theorem, what you get for the other sides? 10 squared equals a squared plus x squared. 36 equals x squared. X will equal 6. So there'll be 6 on the way up and 6 on the way down. So when the speed is 8I plus 6j, that means you're going 10 meters per second. When it's 8I minus 6j when you're on your way down, that's your way up. That one's your way down. It's also 10 meters per second. So essentially the question's changed. The question has become phy equals 6 and phy equals minus 6. Find those 2 times and you're done. Okay? It's actually a much easier question than you would have gave it credit for. Phy is 28 mu plus at, which is minus gt, which is minus 9.8t. Finally, 6 equals 28 minus 9.8t. 9.8t equals 22. 22 divided by 9.8 is 110 over 49. And then you can also do it equals minus 6. And you get 9.8t equals 34. 34 divided by 9.8 is 170 over 49. One of them's 3.47 seconds, and the other one was 2.24 seconds. Have we killed that? 2.24 and 3.47, and you're done. Did I do 4, 8, and 12 with you guys?